Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to bring you my first impression, my first overview of the new ARPG called Wolcen. So Wolcen, as I said, is a new game that got released a couple of days ago. And this video is not like a guide to it. I want to give you my first impression as a year-long Diablo player and then switching to Path of Exile, which is my main game for the past like 2 years. So I think based on ARPG games, I do have a good understanding of what games should have, do need, and so on. And in this video, I want to cover the FAQ that I get, like a lot of questions that I get all the time on stream. For example, is it worth? How does it feel like? Will it kill PoE or Diablo or the other RPG games? Will this be the new game that we should look forward to based on multiplayer trading? I don't know, all these kind of things here. As I said, all of this video here is a personal personal point of view, basically, right? This is not a sponsored video, so this is a full honest review, what I experienced in the past couple of days. So I would say, how does this game feel like? I would say we're just gonna run the first map so you see the actual mapping here, right? So based on that, I'm gonna tell you that this is very similar to, some parts of Diablo 3, some parts of PoE. Like, you don't have to, make something new that was never there before. ARPG is a kind of genre that is kind of similar in all kind of games, you know? When I first played Path of Exile, for example, I saw a lot of things that was quite similar to Diablo, right? And when I played Grim Dawn, I saw similarity in PoE and stuff like that, right? So it's a typical ARPG. You have your inventory, you have your stuff here, your items that you can equip, you have your stats here, you have your skill tree. So there's nothing really too fancy going on here, right? But based on that, we're gonna run a map now, or basically there is a map system in there. So I have already a map looted somewhere. I don't know how this will actually work. I think on your table here where you can make like expeditions, you can enter these maps and get like higher levels or something. This is something, you know, the max level of this game is level 90. I'm currently level 61. So there is a lot of things to go through. But still, there is like, this is very similar to Diablo's Rift system, you know? So you're just gonna open a map or a rift basically. And then there's like randomized maps with randomized monster, same as we know it from that. So this is the adapt mode here. This is basically starting on level 40, which is basically the level once you finish the campaign, and then you go over to this exploration mode or something like that. And the higher you go, the deeper you can rift basically, or map, or whatever you're gonna call it. This is the monster level, right? So I'm level 61. I currently pushed with my character to 76, so well over my base level, but it's still working. So I would say for the easy rundown, we're just gonna run like a 61 map, and now we can roll modifiers, right? So this now gives us basically magic find, quantity, and so on. So I can roll a couple of these modifiers here, make them harder, and then you throw in a sap, and then you basically go into the map or layout and whatnot. And this is basically the gameplay. Since I'm a Path of Exile player, and I know that the majority of the people that are watching this video right now, if so, from my channel, do know that I play PoE, and you guys probably play PoE too. So this is a kind of Blade Vortex character, what I would say. We're just having a spinning axe here. Skill system is pretty similar to Diablo as well. So you have your skills here, and then you have runes based on when you level up your skill. So as long as the skill is in your bar here that you can use here, like this kind of leap slam here, some auras and stuff, they are getting levels, and the higher the level, the more runes you're gonna basically unlock to make your skill special, for example, right? So based on that, for example, my bleeding edge, this is the kind of blade vortex thing here. I have here the rune that it follows me, right? So if I don't use that, this is basically a skill that is standing still, right? And based on my runes, I can just like make this one follow myself, so it works like a blade vortex, right? So customization-wise, this is very intense. There is a lot of skills that can be used with all kinds of attacks and abilities, but this one a little bit later. Let's see how this map looks like. Basically loading up this and just slashing through the enemies, picking up stuff here. You have different items based on the rarity. You have like common items, the white item, magic items, rare items. Then you have legendaries. This is basically the orange one that I'm wearing here. And then you have unique as the rarest one. And this is like this purple one, right? Based on the items here, it's pretty similar to any RPG games. You basically, the higher the rarity, the better it can be, and uniques do have special abilities, or can have special abilities that is very unique in that kind of style, that you can unlock skills that you probably wouldn't be able to use otherwise, okay? So, as I said, pretty much hack and slay. You have some unique monsters, you have some dark shrines, you can spawn monsters and so on. So based on that, it's pretty similar to any kind of RPG. You're having like rare packs, magic packs, unique packs, and so on. You have, like we have in Diablo, the chests that are having a timer, for example, and you have to kill the monsters in a certain time to unlock the chest. Here we have a shrine that gives you items, right? So I'm just gonna roll over here. Hello, sir. God. Hey, where is my item shrine? I see it on the map, but where is it? Should be. Oh, here it is. So, this is just like unlocking your item, like take whatever you need for your build, but I don't want to make this too long. Then, yeah, pretty much ARPG style. It feels, the combat system works really, really well, I would say. I like it a little bit more speedy based on my builds in Path of Exile. This one is a little bit slower here, right? But it doesn't mean that it stays slower, right? I'm level 60 and the max level is 90, and you can roll your maps until level 180 or something. So that means it's going to be a lot harder and a lot difficult, and you're gonna unlock a lot more things here. So now, since I'm level 60 and I'm running a 60 map, I can now drop items that are basically item level based. So the higher the map that I run, the better the items that I will get. As I said, pretty similar to any kind of playstyle, and I hope, and obviously you hope as well, once you're getting into the higher tiers, basically, which is not even a high at the moment for my case here, that you find the same item, maybe the same unique, that will just roll better at later stages, because it's a higher level item, item level, so it will do more damage and so on. I think we're gonna cut this map showcase here for now, because now the bar fills up, same as in Diablo, and once this is full, you're gonna spawn a boss, and then you can decide either you want to stay in this map or you want to go one deeper. The thing is, since this is quite a quest here that I cannot even port out here, so I'm just going to let myself kill. So you see that one as well. You basically have 3 lives. That means once you're getting overwhelmed and basically killed, which takes quite a while here, now you have 3 tokens, right? So I can just press my space bar and it will refill, and now I can keep on playing this, right? And this can happen like 3 times until you're really dead, and then you basically lose all the experience, what you would get as a reward for finishing the map, okay? On the other hand, let's just, to be honest, before I die here 3 times, let's just, I would say, let's just kill through the monsters, fill up the bar, kill the end boss, and that's about it, I would say, for the showcase. Because there's a lot of other things that I would like to talk about in this. So here is the a shrine where you can sell items because you cannot go back to town. This will also be the area where the boss spawns. So that's why I just have to backtrack here and try to kill more monsters. So, in the meanwhile, let's talk about other things. There's basically 3 different item types, basically, in this game, which is like sorcerer items, then you have rogue items, bruiser items, and heavy items. So it's not like that you have like armor system or something like that, that you just roll these stats way higher. For example, a leather plate will be less tanky than, for example, a massive plate, whatever, body armor type of thing, you know? So basically you have this one here. This is the bruiser item. It has life and resistance. Then you have, this is a rogue item. It has health and like life and force shield, which is equivalent to energy shield. Then you have, there's another rogue item. Do we have anything? The rogue item as well. This is a heavy item that has only resistance, right, on this main core. And then the sorcerer items do have only energy shield. So these are basically, the one has energy shield or force shield, the next one has force shield and life, the next one has life and resistance, and the other one has only resistance, basically. That doesn't mean that you cannot get life on these items, on the heavy items, for example. It's based on what affixes your items have. So you can just have a heavy item that has a lot of base resistance and then roll some life modifiers on it to get more life on top of that, right? Then one thing that is very, very unique, basically, in this type of playstyle is the character choice. So you don't really have, as a usual ARPG that you see like, hey, you know what, I want to play a ranger, I want to play a caster, I want to play a melee, a tank and whatnot. You're basically creating your own character. You can choose between a couple of characters in the start, which is like melee, bow character, and the sorcerer, but this only defines the starting weapon that you have. And the weapon choice is basically what makes you able to use certain amount of skills, right? So that's something we see over here. This is like a warrior attack, so I need to have a melee weapon equipped, you know? So as long as I don't have a catalyst or a staff equipped... Oh, we just found a unique sword. What the fuck is this? Envy's Denial having, what do we have? A lot of fire damage, burn chance, fire damage, life leech from burning damage. So this is a really, really nice weapon here. This is very uncommon. So yesterday I ran like 30 maps or so. I maybe found one unique. This is now the first map showcase we found a unique, which makes it super rare, right? Alright, our boss is full. We can now spawn the boss. Here are some caves that you can enter in mid-map, basically, where it's like treasures in the end and stuff. So that's something that is really cool to have here as well. Good, as I said before with the skills. So basically, if I have a skill with a volley or something, a bow skill, I cannot use that with a weapon, right? So you need to have a certain weapons type to unlock certain skills. And this is when dual wield comes in very, very handy here, right? So that means I'm currently having a two-handed sword. That means I can only use warrior things, right? That means I cannot use any kind of bow skills or teleport, which is a sorcerer skill, something like that. But if I have like now a one-handed sword and I use some kind of a gun, for example, in my offhand, I unlock both skills. I can use any kind of melee attack and every kind of rage attack that is usable with the guns, right? The thing, if I'm using a dagger, for example, and on top of that in my offhand, the catalyst, which is like the caster offhand, I can use all caster skills and every single skill that works with daggers as well, right? So that means you have kind of unlimited versions of how you're going to play the game. You can also wield, like, for example, in a gun version, you have one gun and the shield, for example, right? So it's a shotgun, basically. Then you have only one gun equipped and a catalyst, for example. This is just a single shot. If you equip two guns, you have, like, some double shot and more attack speed and stuff like that. There's a lot of to find out, but I think, like, the limits are kind of endless. So let's kill the boss real quick so you see that as well. It's basically like in Diablo's Rift Guardian, basically, right? So we're just gonna murder that thing, hopefully, or it kills me. I'm just gonna jump over, use some skills here, some rage potions, and this is the boss. Based on what my build, it seems like my build is pretty strong. So there is not a lot of comparison here. I see other streamers and also like people that are bringing build guides saying like, this is the ultimate damage. I'm doing like 25,000 crits, you know. Yeah, my build is sometimes well over 100,000 damage, so I think I'm doing pretty well in that case. So now you saw these two portals. One would give me one stage lower, and every time you complete 3 stages, you unlock one of these more multipliers basically on the map level, so I can delve deeper and whatever you call it, right? Good. That's for the playstyle. Basically, how skills work, you basically have every single skill on your character. So if we take a look at the skill tree, you start in the middle, based like a cyan, and then you have like 3 colors. You have the purple ones that is based on ailments and caster things. The green ones are more like the projectile-based things, and the red ones are more like the life and melee crit stuff that you can get in the tree, right? But it doesn't mean that every caster has to go purple. You can do whatever you want. There is some cool buffs like Headhunter's stats here on this part, or for example, this point here. No, wait, which was it? This one, I think. Your willpower regeneration is applied to rage instead. So you have those 2 resources, right? And it always like slides left and right based on what I use. I currently have full rage. That means if I use a rage ability, I start to get willpower, right? And now the willpower is used for spells, right? So if I basically have a hybrid class that is using, for example, a sword and a catalyst, so I can use spells that are cost willpower, that will generate fury or rage, and then I use my attack skills to get away from the rage, build up more spell power or willpower, and then just keep on going like that. Or you play it the way I do with a two-handed weapon. This is a rage only thing, right? That means that I took the skill point because usually it works like mana. If you're just standing in town, you would just get mana or willpower, right? If you have this skill, you will basically generate rage when you're standing still. Usually it would work the other way. So since this is a rage only skill, I don't really have some willpower spenders, but this is like bouncing left and right all the time. So it means I have rage now. I use like 2 skills. I cannot use any stuff here anymore because I used all of my rage. Then I have my Wings of Ishmir that is generating rage. And since I generated rage, the rage bar will fill up again. So that's a very kind of unique mechanic here, and personally I really love it. You can play with like two-handed weapons, and you can go with one rage only, or you go the hybrid version, so you use spells and melee stuff or things like that, curses, whatnot. Some of things to find out. So what is unique in this game is this one here. Small spoiler, once you completed the campaign, this is like the main city, you're kind of becoming the king of the main city. That means that you have control over the city, and you can start to build facilities in your city or upgrade your things for cost and this purple currency that you have here, which is your main currency here. And you get you basically unlock stash tabs, you can unlock additional magic find, you can unlock all kinds of things. So you're basically having those two currency sources that I just said, like your gold or whatever, coins, and this purple thing. The purple thing is granted if you find skills, right? And these ones can be used to upgrade your buildings, and then you just permanently upload things for your character. For example, on my stash tab, I have here one. I could buy the second tab for like 20,000 or so, 20,000 gold it is. But the third one doesn't work, and it says further stash tabs can be unlocked through the Champion of Stormfall game mode, which I'm currently in. So I assume that I have to unlock a building, for example, that will give me additional stash tabs. And probably here my 5th skill slot that is unlocked for me. I'm pretty sure it is somewhere on a building that you have to upgrade to get access to your 5th skill slot. Good. What is the next point here? MTX, for example, you have all kinds of styles here on your character. You can make him completely naked or just set up a kind of appearance that you would like to have. You have all options free here, and it is free, okay? There is nothing to pay, there is no shop in there, there's nothing pay to win or anything like that. This is all you have. You find all these items, you find all the color templates here, and you unlock everything, and then you can make some cool looking fancy characters. And once you change your character based on the appearance, you're just gonna pay a bunch of gold here, here and there, and you just unlock it for your character like I did. So my character is looking pretty demon-like already, and yeah, I think looks pretty cool. Good, you have gems, you have all that kind of stuff that usually you have as well. Based on the skills, this is what you can find. So there is a vendor here where you can buy skills, okay? They cost like 2,000, nothing too much, and this will unlock your skills, but you're gonna find those in the map as well. So what if you right-click it, you will learn the skill, okay? Then it's available to your skill. You can just drag and drop it in your skill bar, then start leveling up, getting your runes ready, and so on. So what if you find a skill that you already have, like Tracker's Reach? I currently have all skills unlocked already here. There's like 40 in total. Then you just right-click this one as if you would learn it, but you're gonna get this purple currency here instead, right? So it's always worth to pick up the skills and just use them. Either you learn them, or in the other hand, you're gonna get the source here, which then you can use for respecing your character. Based on respecing your character, you have also the option to do that. So it's not like you have to level up multiple characters, because max level is 90, and it will probably take quite a while to get there. So you can reset your skill tree, you can reset your attributes is like ferocity is for like crit, toughness is like health and tankiness, agility is like attack speed, and wisdom is basically everything that has to do with like ailments, okay? That doesn't mean that every sorcerer has to go wisdom. Wisdom is just good for ailments, and you basically have the same ailments in there as well. For example, if you do fire damage, you can inflict some ignite or burn damage. If you hit with a physical damage, you can apply rend or bleeding, stuff like that. You can apply poison. There is like a lot of things to go through, so it's definitely worth here to just try out all fancy things. This is what I'm currently doing. So now I found a sword. This is what I was waiting for because I already have a legendary shield found yesterday in the evening. So I'm probably gonna take a look today and respec my kind of Blade Vortex character into a shield and weapon here. And we're gonna see how that one will work out. I would just like hope that this one is a dagger, just because I'm having attack-based skills here already, and daggers is in the same form as guns and bows. So as speaking of that, you have here some kind of skills here. When you say like, okay, I have a melee weapon, so these are all the skills that I can use with a melee weapon, right? If I would like dual wield now my sword and the catalyst, then I can unlock this one as well. So I can not only use the melee skills, I can also use all kinds of casts like fireballs or defensive spells that will then take willpower to generate rage, so I can boost that as well. So in the later stages of the game, the builds are going to be fantastic, hopefully, and there is so much to try out. All right, we talked about the end game, which is like mapping, basically. You can make your maps harder. The deeper you get, the more difficult you will unlock. I think it goes to like death like 180 or something, which is not bad. So you're gonna definitely make sure that your character is beefy and tanky enough to not get one shot every kind of second or something, because you only have like 3 tries at all, right? Then a unique system here with the forge here, or at least with your city that you can upgrade, which is super nice. A lot of grindiness to go with, because gold is something you get like, at the moment I get like 20 or 30,000 gold per map that I run, and here it needs like 40,000, and there is other things that cost like 300,000 or up to 1 million or even more like that, okay? So there's definitely a lot of grindiness behind that, a lot of uniques, a lot of special things that you can find out in this game. So therefore, it's not like, okay, let's finish the campaign and I'm done with the game, because this will only be a minor part comparable with PoE. If you level up in PoE and kill Tower in Act 10, the game actually starts from this point. You know, the leveling, the campaign, same as here. It's just to get into the game, into like tutorial mode, right? But I have to say, the campaign, the Act 1 is really hard. Act 2 and 3 was quite easy once you find some nice item pieces, but Act 1 is... whew, I quite died quite often here on the Act 1 boss, but you just repeat until you get it down. There is no hardcore mode or something like that, so you have all time to just go through and enjoy the playstyle. Alright, that's it about the small overview. As I said, not an in-depth guide about stuff like that. It's just like, I want to give you a nice opinion how this game feels like, based off the combat and so on. And as I said, the game is definitely good. Will it be able, so to answer that question, will it be able to take over the RPG scene? No, it will not, okay? Thing is, if you take a look at PoE, for example, that is developed like, or came online in like 2013 or so, way before I started playing it. Since then, you have development, bug fixes, like all that things. We have been through multiple expansions, a lot of leaks, a lot of cool stuff came into the game. It's like a full rounded, complete game where it's just getting more and more stuff into there. This is now another game coming from an indie company, so they have like 30 employees. It's their first game, so there's definitely a lot of bugs in there already that have to get fixed. There were a lot of server issues in the past, so they're still working their asses off to make this game as stable and as good as possible before they start fixing the bugs. So if you say like, holy shit, should I buy this game? If you really like it, then you would already have bought it already, like I did. If you're like unsure, if you're like, yeah, it doesn't look too bad, but I'm not sure if I should do or not, I would suggest wait like a week or two until like all the servers are stable. If you want to play offline, you can play offline. If you want to play online, you can play offline as well. It's nothing too special difference. You just can't trade with friends and stuff like that. But there is no trading website like PoE Trade or something not yet implemented. So it doesn't really matter if you play online or offline at this point. You could modify your offline character, same as you did with Diablo 2, for example, with the hero editor, and this is why I strictly play online, so I have a total legit character where I just cannot do anything else but what the game offers, basically, right? Then as I said, GGG started as an indie company as well, right? They didn't had like 2,000 employees like they have right now or something. So it's a really, really well game here. It's a really nice start. They're really working their ass off, as I said, to make everything possible. Then they will work on the bug fixes. So I would definitely not cut it off the list, okay? So based on Diablo, like, can it compete with PoE? No, definitely not. PoE is just too fucking good. I don't know. I mean, I'm a PoE player since more than 2 years, right? But I just played every other RPG game as well, like Lost Ark and Grim Dawn and Torchlight and whatnot. And I just, every time I go back to PoE, I say like, this is the ARPG. This is the best game out there. So, is it comparable to Diablo 3 in that case, or will it kill Diablo 3? Well, that's kind of weird to answer, just because how can you kill a game that is already dead? Let's be honest. Like, if you played the early stages of Diablo compared to the stages that we have right now, alright, so better. I hope they do a better job in Diablo 4 and don't ruin it again like they did with Diablo 3. So it's a very nice mix here between PoE and Diablo based on the skill tree, with a map system, or basically with a rift system, greater rifts, you have reward modes and stuff like that. There is a lot to grind here with the with getting your character up, with finding the different uniques that are build enabling for certain kind of builds. There's just so much to do, and this is definitely a game where I wake up in the morning and be like, yes, today we're gonna push, you know? It's comparable with my league start, you know? When you have PoE league start, you get online, or you wake up and you're the first thing, okay, let's grab coffee and let's just push the maps. I want to get this gear, I want to get this level, I want to get my first exalts and whatnot, you know? So I definitely have the same kind of feeling on this game. I wake up, the first thing I do is, okay, let me get online, let me drink my morning coffee, let's run a couple of maps, see what items can I find. And as I just found this unique item here, I'm gonna see, because I plan to do a fire build anyway, so now I found the weapon for it. Now I'm probably gonna check, like, what skills do I need to make this possible, maybe an ailment build, I can reset my character. So there's a lot of things to do, and I'm really, really looking forward to today's stream to see how my character will look like once this is done. Is it complete trash? We're just gonna respec again. You have all options open to just do whatever you want in this game, right? Good. I think we talked about the majority, a quick explanation of the game, what are the differences, and what does the end game look like at the current stage. As I said again, I'm level 60, there 90 is the max level. I have no idea how hard it will get. At the moment I'm just breezing through, so nothing too fancy. The last like 10 levels, since I'm playing 15 levels over my level here, it starts to become really rough, so I'm not sure how it looks like once you get level 90, how the 180 maps looks like, because they're like double your level. So I think you just need a beef tank that is just doing insane amounts of damage, and it's going to be a lot of min-maxing and a lot of fun to try out how this one works in the end. So as I said again, the game for me personally is fantastic. I'm not that, how you call it, I'm not like, hey, this game, I got disconnected, what a shit game, I want a refund. You know, I'm very patient when it comes to that. If there is bugs in there, as I said, it's an indie company. They are working as much as they can to make all the bugs disappear. So I definitely have the understanding, and if something is not working or completely overpowered, just skip that for now. And the game will get fixed, okay? So I'm really looking forward. Like, if they have insane sales at the moment, right? It's a rank 1 game on Steam at the moment. So if a lot of people are claiming for refunds just because the servers were offline for the past 2 days. You have to imagine, servers came online, the game was released, right? And 1 day later, they had to go into maintenance mode because their database was like failing and characters were disappearing. So they had to take the game offline for 2 days, and everybody was like, oh, shit game, let me refund, and so on. I personally, I just played a little bit in offline, tried to make a skill tree and whatnot, so when the servers come back online, I can keep on pushing again. So for me, there is absolutely no reason to refund the game. But as I said, it's a rank 1 sold game on Steam at the moment, so I just hope that they're gonna get enough money to get more employees to make this game a competitor to Diablo 3, or basically Path of Exile, cause yeah, Diablo 3 is just another topic. Alright guys, I hope I could give you a nice insight of Wolcen, Lords of Mayhem, or how I call it, Lords of Maintains, and other people as well. But it's really looking good. I would definitely recommend trying this out if you're a fan of the ARPG scene, if you're a fan of Diablo or Path of Exile or Grim Dawn. There's a lot of similarities in there, and I think you will have a great time because I enjoy myself very, very much. And now we're just gonna start streaming and yeah, just push and hope to get this nice going uniques and then see what I can do with my character, because at the moment I'm just breezing through. But yeah, we're gonna see how it looks like in the end. Guys, what the fuck? Guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.